All right, guys. Today we are going to be reacting to five things I miss about Germany. Oh my God, the United States going crazy right now. They tried to assassinate the former president of the United States. Oh my goodness, Lord. We are very uncharted territories, folks. But we're going to keep reacting to Germany. Make sure you like to subscribe. Also, we're heading to 10,000 subscribers. So do me a favor, hit like that subscribe button. Meantime, guys, let's jump in.
Hello friends, I'm Nate and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share 5 things that I miss the most about Germany.
All right. All right.
So
Let me
before
know
we
how
get
it's
started, I'll give you a little
sound.
bit of my background. I have lived in Germany for a total of 5 years. I was in the US Army, so my first tour was for 2 years and my second tour was for 3 years. I did marry a German girl, and we've been together for 22 glorious years. Her family still currently lives in Germany, so whenever we can, we do try and go back and visit. And every time I go back to visit, it gets harder and harder for me to return to the United States. And these 5 reasons that I'm about to share are just part of the reason why it's so hard to come back to the United States. I'd also like to throw out just a little disclaimer that these 5 reasons do not include family or friends because, well, that's obvious. They would be number 1 on the list always of things that I miss about Germany. But these...
Yeah, a family's always there in the top of the list when it comes down to making a move, whether you want to move or not, or, thinking about moving to a new place. Families always come in the first list, on the top of the list, I would say.
These 5 that I will share go into other aspects of my time over there. So now that that's out of the way, let's get started with the list with number 1, and that would be the public transportation and trains. I like trains. It's no secret that Germany and Europe as a whole has an outstanding network of public transportation. I mean, just about every town, big and small, has at least a bus stop, if not.
Yeah, funny as an American myself, I see the public transportation of Germany. It looks very nice, and I do agree with him. But I'm amazed a lot of Germans don't like their autobahn, which is very interesting.
A train station, shoot, even my wife's hometown of a population of 500 people has a bus stop. And from that bus stop, I can just go right over the hill to a train station, and from that train station, I can go about 30 minutes away to a larger train station, international train station, and from there, I mean, I can go pretty much anywhere in the world. When we were dating, I took my wife to Paris, and we took a train from Kaiserslautern all the way to Paris and back.
Good point.
No driving, no traffic, it's just wonderful. And speaking of trains, I absolutely love trains. I love sitting on them. I love the slight rocking back and forth, the sound of the cars going over the track.
It's very soothing. You see what I'm saying? It's very soothing. If you are a book reader, you like to read a lot of books. I love to read a lot. So you already know there's gonna be 6 hours. Oh man, just bring your favorite book. I would say 1 or 2. Knock it out of the park. Also, if you wanna just listen to some audio books, it's perfect.
Watching the scenery go by the windows, you don't have to worry about anything but just sit there and relax. It's one of the things that I try to do every time we go back to Germany, is ride on a train. No matter if it's just a short trip, I need to be on a train. All right, moving on to item number 2, the food and beer. Germany has a lot of amazing food and beer. From your bratwurst and schnitzel to sauerkraut and kartoffel.
Oh, yes.
It's all delicious. And not only do you have the traditional German food, but you can find many different places that serve traditional foods from around the world, like Greek, which is another one of my favorites.
Greek food is amazing.
Now let's talk about the beer. I mean, Germany's well known for its beer and the types of beer and the quality of beer. One of my favorites is the Hefeweizen, but you can also find beer that's brewed in monasteries, like Kloster Kreuzberg. That's one of my all-time favorite beers. that you can't get anywhere else in the world because they don't distribute. So no matter your
Oh.
taste in beer, you can find one that you will enjoy. Number 3 on the list of things that I miss about Germany is the lifestyle pace. The lifestyle pace in Germany compared to the United States seems to be in slow motion. And that's especially true where I live right now in Phoenix, Arizona. It's like the people just don't have time to relax. Sure, you have cities in
Oh,
Germany.
I never thought he was from Phoenix, Arizona. That's interesting. I thought he was probably from Ohio or something like that, but
Where people
there you
are
go.
in a hurry to go from point A to point B. But in the places that I've lived in Germany, the people just seem to be more chill, just more relaxed, just enjoying their time. I mean, people take the time to sit down for lunch and enjoy the company of their friends, over an hour or two during the day. And here in the US, people tend to eat on the run. They don't take the time to sit down with friends, have a nice lunch, and then go back to work.
True.
They run through a drive-through, grab something quick, eat it in the car, or eat it at their desk. And maybe it has something to do with the capitalistic culture of the United States, where everybody's trying to be better than the next person or get ahead of the next person, and they don't take the time to just sit back and enjoy what they have. They're in this rat race all the time. I mean, it's actually really hard for me to put into words the difference that I feel from the United States and Germany. I just know that every time I get off that plane, when I land in Germany, I immediately just feel more relaxed, like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. And that brings us to number
Interesting.
4 on the list
Interesting.
of things that I miss about Germany, and that is fests. Everything from your normal beer fest to Christmas markets to medieval fests. My favorite is probably the medieval fests, and that's only because they're held in the warmer months, so it's nicer outside. But a very close second would be the Christmas market, because walking around a Christmas market, you're bundled up, you have a nice hot cup of Glühwein, you're eating some nice crepes that were just made.
Oh, I mean, imagine.
That can be
I would like to try the hot wine that they give during the Christmas market. That would be very nice.
a wonderful time as well. But the cool thing about the medieval fests is that many times, depending on where they are, they're actually held in the courtyards of castles. So it's like you're stepping back in time when you're sitting there at this medieval fest at the base of a castle, and people are dressed up, they're playing the part, they have their little booth of their handmade wares or their food or their local beer. So you get the full experience of what it may have been like back in the day. But we can't forget about the beer fest, and obviously the most famous being Oktoberfest, held in Munich. My wife and I went one year to Oktoberfest, but we picked the worst weekend to go. It was the last weekend that it was being held, which is not a good time to go. And Bayern Munich was playing Bayern 1860 soccer, so we had an intercity rivalry going on, so there were that many more people on the trains, at the fest.
A higher
It was
stake
so
kind of energy.
crowded. We stood in line at a beer tent for an hour and never moved. So I told my wife, hey, let's just go. We'll go somewhere else. We'll do something different. And I joked about it later. I said, we're probably the only people in history that went to Oktoberfest and didn't drink a beer. I mean, who does that? But we did end up going to the Hofbräuhaus and ended up drinking a liter of beer anyway. So even though we weren't in the confines of Oktoberfest, we were still technically there. So we technically had a beer at Oktoberfest. And number 5 on the list of things that I miss about Germany, and that is the architecture and the history. I love history and I love architecture, and Germany is rich in both of them.
Wow.
I mean, it still blows my mind that people over there live in buildings that are older than in the United States. If you've never been outside the US, you think the US is pretty old. And it is, relatively speaking, at almost 245 years old if you're
Well, the nation, right? But there was something before that, was it the colonial years? Going back to 1495, I think it is, and up. So that's closely to what? I would say almost 500 years, but even that is not that old compared to a lot of these places, right? Because even starting from the discovery of America, there was no buildings. It probably took some time to even build something. So even that, it's not even close to Germany's history.
You're counting the birth of the nation from the ratification of the Declaration of Independence
yeah.
in 1776, then yeah, it's a couple hundred years old, which isn't too bad. But take that compared to the Porta Nigra in Trier, which was constructed in 180 AD.
Wow.
Then there's really no comparison.
Nah,
and granted,
not even
that
close.
might be a little unfair depending on when you're thinking the country was born or established. And then the Porta Nigra, that was an old Roman thing. But if you take what's considered to be the oldest row of half-timbered houses in Germany, the Hofenmarkt 4 through 10 in Esslingen, they were built in 1328 to 1331. So it's still 400 plus years older than the United States, and people still live in them. But either way, Germany's pretty old, so the history is there. And let's not forget about the architecture, from the medieval castles to the Gothic era cathedrals.
They're very strong.
Which they're probably some of my favorite. I mean, it's hard to believe that these things were built by humans, let alone by hand. I mean, the amount of work that went into these is just incredible. And many times, the person who started the construction project didn't live long enough to see it completed. Granted, the usual time, per my internet search, was about 10 years to build a castle. However, there are many more elaborate palaces or castles and palaces that were built on and on and on that took, you know, more than one generation to actually complete. I mean,
Cologne Cathedral.
Buildings are just tossed up left and right. It's as fast as you can go, as many as you
The
can
Cologne
get
Cathedral
done.
is a good example of that.
Actually say they literally don't make them like they used to. So there are 5 of the many reasons why I miss Germany. If you've lived in Germany or maybe just visited, what are some of the things that you miss the most about Germany?
I'm excited to go to
hear,
Germany.
So just drop a comment down below. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, please like the video and go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever I post a new video. I'd like to do more of these Germany-related videos because we are planning to go back very soon, and I'd like to take you along on the journey so you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Hey, shout out to the guy, man. Good video, man. Good video. And he had that military face. And yeah, he's right. When you come to the United States, it all depends where, right? If you come to Phoenix, Arizona, it's more like a city. You may have that rushy kind of feel to a lot of these things, right? But you come to the Midwest, it's gonna be a little slower. But I do understand where he's coming from. I used to live in the city, and I live in multiple cities in the United States, so you still get that kind of rushy feel. But let me know what you guys see in the comment section below. I would love to hear you guys' opinion. He's saying that the public transportation, especially the trains, are good in Germany. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear you guys' opinion. In the meantime, guys, I'll see you in the next one.